look at some of the properties of the electric lines of force. They may move in a curved path on which a unit positive charge will essentially move. So what do we mean by this one? Let us say an electric field line is there. Let's say it is moving like this. Then if we place a point charge, positive point charge over here, then this positive point charge will tend to move along the electric field line. That is what it means. The electric field line may not always be curved, sometimes it may be straight, as we have seen in the case of isolated point charges. These electric lines of force do not pass through a conductor. They do not pass through a conductor. So what happens when a conductor is present? Let's understand that. So when a conductor is present, let us say this is the conductor, okay, and let us say these are the electric field lines. So these electric field lines terminate here at the surface of the conductor. Let's understand that they terminate here at the surface of the conductor and do not pass through the conductor. All right, since the surface of a conductor is also an equipotential surface, we can say that the electric field lines will be perpendicular to the surface of a conductor. So they are perpendicular like this to the surface of a conductor. In a region of strong electric field, the lines of force are closely packed, and in a region of weak electric field, the lines of force are like far apart. Okay, fine. So here let us say strong electric field is present, then we can draw the electric field lines like this. So this is a region of strong electric field. And for a region of weak electric field, the electric field lines can be drawn like so. So this can be said to be a region of weak electric field. Charge of two types is present, positive and negative charge. The electric field lines originate and move outward from a positive charge, as we have already seen, and they terminate on a negative charge. They come and terminate on a negative charge. And if a positive and negative charge is kept in vicinity, some of the electric field lines will originate from the positive charge, terminate on the negative charge, but there will be some others that will move to infinity from the positive point charge, and there will be some others that come from infinity to the negative point charge. In general, greater the magnitude of the charge, greater is the number of lines associated with it. The tangent at any point on the electric field line gives the direction of the electric field. Yes, so let us say this is point A. The tangent at point A will give the direction of the electric field at A, that is EA or E1. Let us say this is point B. The tangent to the electric field line at point B will give the direction EB. The tangent at C will give the direction EC to the electric field line. Two electric field lines never intersect. So let us say if they were going to intersect, then in that case they move apart, and what I like to call is that they exert lateral pressure on each other or parallel pressure on each other. Now what does that mean? So basically if they are about to intersect, let's say naturally the electric field line was moving like this and another one was moving like this, then this is not how they will behave. They will essentially exert pressure on each other, and this is how they will go. And this we see in case of two positive point charges, as has been shown over here. They exert lateral pressure on each other and effectively don't end up intersecting. So electric field lines are always perpendicular to equipotential surfaces, including the surface of a conductor, which also happens to be an equipotential surface. So let us say this is an equipotential surface. Electric field lines are going to be perpendicular to equipotential surfaces, because if any electric field component is tangent, then in that case work will be done in moving a charge along the tangential component, and hence the equipotential surface will have different potentials on the surface, which is not possible, which is a contradiction. Okay, here also even if it appears that the electric field lines are intersecting, they are actually not, because this line will move like this and this line will move like this and this line will move like this and this line will move like this, because electric field lines also cannot intersect, just like equipotential surfaces also cannot intersect. The electric lines of force show longitudinal contraction. That means they try to reduce their length basically. Okay, how does that happen? Let's understand. So let us say, let's take a positive charge and a negative charge. Okay, so let us say this is a positive charge present over here and let us say this is a negative charge present over here. Now the electric lines of force are somewhat like this between the positive and the negative charge, and of course others are also there, but see, this is how they behave, but talking about the lines only between the positive and the negative charges. So this is how the electric field lines are. All right, they show longitudinal contraction. So what does that mean? The charges will tend to attract each other. This charge will tend to move rightward, this charge will tend to move leftward, and because of that the length of this electric field line will try to contract. So if this positive charge moves rightwards, it will come over here. This negative charge moves leftward, it will come over here, and then this is how they will behave. This is how they will be shown and seen basically, and hence they show longitudinal contraction. That is, they try to reduce their own length.